Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Gabestah here. We have done it. We've reached the final mastery achievement for the Reckoning mission. This achievement is called Speed Bump. It requires that you destroy the Odin in the Reckoning before Mengsk sends it against Raynor in hard difficulty. So, for the final mission, here's the build I'm going with for this achievement. Basically, economy with automated extractor and twin drones, mend, crushing grip, kinetic blast, infested broodlings, and the drop pod. Army build, pretty standard stuff. I like survival things, so I went with the revival strain, evolution strain for my Ultralisks, which is really handy, and then just stuff that increases survival for my units. So roaches have more armor when they get below 50%, and they slow when they attack. And I tend to use roaches and hydras and ultras and queens and abominations and zerglings. Yeah, because I suck at micro. So there you go. Anyway, let us rewind and we'll get started with the final mastery walkthrough. So, the thing to remember is that for this achievement, you only need to kill the Odin. You don't actually need to complete the main objective, which is destroying the palace gate. Now, the Odin does hang out near the palace gate, so doing one is sort of the same as doing the other. But if you find that you have a way to sneak a bunch of units up there and just burn down the Odin, not really worry about everything else, that will work just fine. In my case, I'm not good at the micros, so I'm just going to go with amassing a big army, clearing out most of the map, as if I were doing the achievement normally. So first start your drones and your economy, get both the extra extractors, then take everything you've got to start with and start moving east immediately. There's a very underdefended second base that's conveniently waiting for you. So you want to quickly clear this out and get this base going for you. And just as with many missions, or achievements rather, the faster you can get your economy up and running, the easier everything will be. It just snowballs from there. So make sure you clear out the building that will block your hatchery. And you can see there are quite a few units that keep coming in from the east as we're attacking, but Kerrigan's really strong, obviously, and the starting units you have can help out, take them out as well. And grab some drones and come down here, build your extractors and your hatchery. I actually didn't notice there's 3 extractors on the east base as well. Excuse me. So you'll want to actually build all 3 of those. I only saw the 2 and built 2 of them. Anyway, get your evolution pits going for upgrades. Do the same for spires if you like to use air units as well, but I tend to stick with ground army stuff. And around this time, you should have Raynor appear and start defending his side of the map. So you can just keep clearing up with whatever units you have. Try to get rid of these buildings because they'll just constantly spit out units at you otherwise. And the fastest way to actually stop production or halt more production is to kill the tech reactor things, whatever they were called for Wings of Liberty, that combine a tech lab and a reactor, the add-ons, in other words. And that will have the production of the buildings until you can do the damage to actually kill the building. So here you can see massive wave of dudes, but Kerrigan can just solo stuff. She's crazy, so don't worry about it too much. Try to remember to keep building up your drones and transfer them over to your new hatchery. Here I found they remember to do that. And I don't have quite enough minerals yet. So I got a little worried about Raynor's base, but he actually doesn't need help on hard difficulty until that announced attack where Mengsk is sending a specific unit at him, and it's marked on the map. And Raynor will ask for explicit help as well. So at that point, you should go over there and help him. But before that, they can defend themselves. So I use this time to, once that kind of base near my base is cleared out, then I clear out this middle section just so units that are moving from one side to the other when I'm going to help Raynor won't get caught up on the few units that are in the middle there. And there I noticed the third extractor I missed on my natural base. I've also upgraded, so now I can build the Ultralisk Cavern. I really like the Ultras in these final missions. That's the only thing I found unfortunate about the campaign. Not to blab too much, but I kind of wish you get access to stuff like Ultras earlier. You only get to do it for a couple missions, and it's unfortunate. But, c'est la vie. So here, you generally want to clear out the defense positions so that you can get the extra swarm help. They will spit out a ton of units, and it will just help you in your job, since otherwise you have to clear through it anyway. And when you can use drop pod, you should do so immediately and start clearing with that as your backup. You should have been building up, basic army prior to this point, while remembering to get your upgrades. Listen for that. The sound cue is the best thing. Just, mutation complete should tell you, hey, I've finished an upgrade series, and grab another set. And I like to hotkey my upgrade structures to 0, and then I can just hit that while I'm out in the field, and that's the extent of my elite micro abilities. But yeah, it's handy. So you can see we've cleared out to sort of the first bridge area, and that's pretty good. So now here, it's up to you where you want to go. I first start to cross over, but then I get worried about Raynor, and so I start to head back, and then I realize it's not the announced, attack that I talked about before, so he's fine. So then I move back again. Very indecisive. Not good. But the next goal should be to keep going around this east side of the map to take over that third base that's basically directly in the center of the map there. You probably don't necessarily need 3 bases to max out your army for this mission, because you have quite a bit of time before the Odin is sent out, but it certainly doesn't hurt to have more economy. So since you have to clear anyway, you might as well head up that direction first. And if you do this, clear the space fast enough, you can actually just cut through the center of the map to reach Raynor's base when he has to be helped out in a moment anyway. So sort of 2 birds with 1 stone in a sense. So there I've got some of my reincarnated ultras finally, and I love them. They're so adorable. Look at them run around, their little claws. And so yeah, you can see this base is not very well defended, really. There's not much here. So a lot of factories. They were going for it. Trying to save my little ultra, although I keep forgetting that he'll just come back to life. So that's nice. So once you've cleared out this base, grab some drones, and once again build up. So there's Mengsk being a dick, and Raynor asking for help. So this is about the perfect timing, really. So we can just go right up there and up this little ramp, clear out a little bit. That's just in front of Raynor's base, and we'll be right in position to help out. So just do your best to keep your macro going. That's probably the best thing you can do. Look at that number of units. Holy crap. So the good news is the timing for drop pod, if you used it right when you could at the beginning of the mission, since it starts on cooldown, you used it right away, it will be up again for this. And you can see it's just crazy good. So, yeah. Once you defend that, then you can just keep moving up in this direction since you're here and clear out the second defended position and get another wave of swarm to help you out a bit. If you find that you like the reincarnating ultras and you want the really survivable version, you can grab their, it's not the strain, but it's the evolution, or no, not evolution, whatever it's called, the one where you choose between three things. The middle one, where they heal for 40% of the damage they deal, that plus the reincarnation is insanely strong. They're just, they barely ever die. It's awesome. Throw in a few queens to heal every once in a while with the mend for Kerrigan's heal, and it's pretty awesome. So you can see my army is really not changing in supply very much. It's kind of hovering around 100, 110 this whole time. But that's okay because I'm just continuously moving forward and clearing out position. And that's really all you need to do is just try to keep doing something that progresses you forward. And if you do that, you will be able to get to the Odin before it's sent out. Now here is the only time where things got a little hairy. There was an attack from the east that I was not at all in position to defend, and I forgot to raise the bridge that's just to the southwest of my army right now. You can attack the little machine there that's barely defended by a few banshees and whatnot. And it will raise a bridge that you can then cross to easily get from the middle of the map to your second base. And I didn't have that up, so I had to run all the way around, and it was a waste of time, and I lost a lot of reinforcements, and yeah, it was all around not a good move. So learn from my mistake if you can, and try to remember to open that bridge after you clear out the east part of the map early on in the mission. Just swing around, and there it is there. That's the thing you have to kill. So I'm finally realizing it. Oh yeah, I can do that. That'll be easier. So just a couple banshees, like I said. You could even send Kerrigan by herself if your micro's good enough to just control your main army away from Kerrigan. She can easily take out those banshees and get that bridge going. And that'll help you for when that attack that just happened comes in. Anyway, so now we can push forward. There's an Alpha Squadron coming to Raynor, however, so I decided to go back and defend that rather than push with Raynor's attack there. I don't know why he didn't go home and defend himself. It's kind of selfish. So I'm approaching max army here. That's a lot of tanks, holy cow. And you can see they just obliterate my Hydralisks. You know, Hydras do so much DPS, I like them, but they are not good against tank fire and Thors and stuff. But it's okay because you have 3 bases. Screw it. So drop pod's up again, which means glory to be had. We're going to move forward. I really like the graphic on those those medevacs there, those elite ones. It's pretty cool. Anyway, what a terrible drop. This Terran is no good. So throw the drop pod in front of your army to soak up most of the damage. It's generally a good method. And then just clear through to the final defensible position, over to the east again. And make sure you use Kerrigan to pick out the most damaging or dangerous units. So that would be the tanks usually. And I'm taking the planetary out first after the units because my units are in a bad position there. So they got my extractor, those stupid Reapers, and all the drones. Oh, now. But again, it takes 10 larvae at most, and 15 seconds to replenish drones for a base, so I'm not too worried about it. And there we go. I was able to save the hatchery, luckily, so that's all right. And you can see my bankroll is massive. So there we got the primal swarm reinforcements. They tear stuff up big time. So they're going to push into the final ramp area. Now here, I could arguably not clear this section here. I had time to do so, so it wasn't a big deal, but you could easily just go straight up the ramp with the primal Zerg units and go for Odin at this point. But I decided just to be more thorough and clear out those buildings there. So here comes some more primals, along with some of my own reinforcements. So you should be maxed out, or nearly maxed out, when you push into the Odin area, this final section. I'm sure you can do it without it. Briefly right there, you may have seen, I forget the name of it, but it was one of the final special buildings you could create in Wings of Liberty that would slow Zerg units. Well, lo and behold, they have them to use against you in this final mission here. So kill those off quickly. Otherwise, it just creates a field that slows your units a great deal. And then you can kind of just attack, move up into this. Just mend as much as possible. Use Kerrigan to single target the most dangerous units. And once the Odin comes down, there he is there, just right-click him, and you'll burn him down. That's pretty much it. And as I said, you don't have to actually complete the mission, so if your whole army dies, or half of it, like mine did here, it doesn't really matter. So yeah, it's not one of the most difficult of the mastery achievements, but, it's a crazy epic battle and quite a bit of fun. So that is the speed bump achievement for the final mission, The Reckoning. Good luck, and thanks again for watching.